You are from IIT Bombay. Energy Science and Engineering.
Yes, sir.
What is energy science and engineering? Why that end is there?
So basically, we also study the fundamental principles on which the energy systems are being designed. The science behind, for example, how the photovoltaics actually function at the material level.
Okay.
So as we study the concepts at the fundamental level, even the science aspect has been introduced in the discipline.
Okay. So how, see the candidates who pass out from energy science and engineering, in the last few years, this branch is there for how many years? This branch?
Since 2008, sir.
Anyone who has gone into working for space technology from your branch? Anyone?
Sir, I'm not aware if anyone has taken up the field in space technology.
Any applications in space technology from this field, what you have learned? Any applications in space technology?
Yes, sir, certainly for powering up the satellites and also making use of the solar energy for long distance rocket travels. These can be certain aspects for functioning of the practical application of energy science. And apart from energy sourcing from the sun, energy storage devices are also equipped on these space systems. So in this way, both the energy generation and the energy storage facilities applications we can witness in space technology sectors.
Okay, see, International Space Station, it gets energy only from the solar? Does it run only on solar energy? You heard about ISS, right?
Yes, sir.
Going around.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Where does it go? Low Earth orbit or medium or high Earth orbit?
Low Earth orbit.
What is the reason?
Sir, I'm not aware of the reasons.
Okay. So, what is the main source of energy for this ISS?
So there is certainly energy generation from solar panels on ISS, but I'm not particularly aware if there is any other fuel which is powering the function.
But just think that a space station is going around from several years. What can be the possible source of energy? Of course, solar is one of the best sources. What can be the possible sources? Just think. What could have given energy for it to go around for so many years continuously?
So there can be a possibility of mini nuclear reactor as well, which can power one system for such a long time. But I'm not sure if that is in use in ISS.
No problem. Okay. See the submarines mostly get the energy from which source? Most of submarines.
So most of them are diesel powered submarines actually. We are also complementing it with the nuclear powered submarines.
So India has got any nuclear powered submarines?
Yes, sir. We have INS Arihant.
Okay. It's a class or single submarine? Is it a class of submarines or single submarine India has got presently?
So I'm not aware about it.
Okay. See, the Tesla cars, I think they have, the sales of Teslas increased in USA, right? Pretty much sales. So electrical vehicles are able to compete with the petrol vehicles or diesel SUVs, right? But in India, why, though electric vehicles are coming in, unable to compete with the petrol diesel vehicles in India? What are the three main reasons why Indian consumers are not really comfortable in purchasing electric vehicles?
So two possible reasons which I'm able to recall at this point of time are, first thing, the high cost of electric vehicles, even post subsidy, and second thing is the inadequate charging infrastructure that is present in the country.
Good. Charging infrastructure means, how do you charge? Can you elaborate on the charging infrastructure? What is the best model of charging these electric vehicles?
So usually we have a power socket, sir, which is a high powered socket, so which will charge the electric vehicle in 6 to 7 hours.
But it's too much of time, no? For
Yes.
example, electric vehicle going and getting charged in the charging stations. In alternative, you can think of.
So
Alternative.
battery swapping facility can be another thing in order to propel the use of electric vehicles in the country. And hybrid electric vehicles can also be explored,
Very good.
so that we can complement battery storage with the conventional
tell what made Tesla a very special kind of e-vehicle? Is it energy efficiency or something else?
So I do not know the exact reasons why Tesla has become so successful.
Okay, tell me, which car will have more energy efficiency? Is it the comparing petrol, diesel, gas powered and electric vehicles? More energy efficiency, which kind of car, which kind of fuel?
So to compare electric vehicles with the other energy usage sources, we need to understand the source of energy generation with respect to electricity that we are consuming in the electric vehicles. For example, when we use an intermediate technology like a battery storage technology, certainly there will be a drop of efficiency. For example, the batteries operate at an efficiency of 90%. So we'll only be able to derive 90% of the energy that we're storing into the battery, typically. So in that way, we can say that the IC engines are comparatively much better, sir, with respect to energy utilization perspective, with respect to the energy efficiency that we're utilizing.
IC engine is better than electric vehicle.
Yes,
from that point of
because still we are sourcing much of our electricity from coal, and even the solar technology has efficiency at 25 to 30% at commercial level. So the energy input and the energy output when we compare is actually
Low for
electric vehicles.
electric vehicles. But still government is encouraging it in order to reduce the pollution, isn't it?
Yes.
Reduce pollution or any other reason is there to encourage electric vehicles?
So primarily, Indian government has two important reasons, sir. First thing, with respect to climate change, we have to curb our greenhouse gas emissions, for which transportation sector is one of the major contributors. And second thing is with respect to the energy security perspectives. So since we are importing 80% of our oil, so this creates energy dependence on the other countries. Whereas if we are able to generate the electricity through renewable technologies in our country itself, we will be able to make our country much more energy secure.
Is electric vehicles renewable source of energy?
So renewables, there is no particular energy generation on electric vehicles as such. It is through the electricity that we are generating through the solar panels, which is considered as a renewable technology. So per se, we cannot talk about the renewable nature of the electric vehicle in itself. It depends upon the electricity source that we are generating.
What is Government of India doing for energy conservation?
So the Government of India has recently passed Energy Conservation Amendment Act 2022, where we are focusing on promoting energy conservation even at the residential and commercial complex level. And apart from that, we are also giving star ratings to various appliances by Bureau of Energy Efficiency. We are rating the appliances based upon the amount of energy that it's consuming in order to give the desired output. So star rating is one thing. And third thing, sir, we are also setting up standards with respect to various industries, that the emission limits that they have to take into consideration. So these are certain things in which the Government of India is promoting energy conservation.
Leaving aside the domestic housing and private industries, the public places in government sector, what they are doing to conserve energy?
So I'm not particularly aware about
Anything about street lighting? Street lighting in technology to conserve energy?
Yes, sir. There are two possible ways to conserve energy in the street lighting. First is using the intelligent lighting. Based upon the outer atmosphere light that is available, we can increase the lux of the light. So that can be one possible way to conserve the energy. And secondly, replacement of the fluorescent lamp with LEDs under Ujala scheme. So street lighting national project is being undertaken, so that which is an energy conservation measure. And third thing, sir, we can also use self-powered solar lighting, sir, for every street light. So
what is it, self-powered solar light?
So we'll have a small solar panel attached to every pole and a battery unit, so that the battery gets charged during the day and the light gets on during the night. So in this
is it tried as prototype there? Is it tried at any level in India?
So at large scale level, I'm not particularly aware, sir, but with respect to traffic lights, we see this system being implemented in the city of Hyderabad.
Okay, good. So you're talking about, see, lake conservation is your interest, right?
Yes, sir.
How much time do you spend in lake conservation in a year or in a month?
So we work on the lake every Saturday and Sunday, sir, for approximately 2 to 3 years per day.
Okay. So which lake are you considering presently?
Mansurabad Pedda Cheru, sir.
Where is it?
It's close to my home. It's around 5 to 6 kilometers.
How large is it?
So it's around 12 hectares, sir, in its area.
Why the conservation of that lake is required? What happened to that lake actually?
So the primary reason for which we started the lake conservation, we actually have a joggers park around the lake for which we go every weekend for spending some evening time or in order to do morning jogging. But over time, in the last couple of years, we have seen that the lake is getting polluted very much. The place is being increasingly used for dumping plastic waste in construction and demolition waste, which has decreased the ambience of the lake in itself. So we felt that the preservation of that lake is very much important to ensure the beauty of the surroundings in itself. So because of that reason, we have taken up the lake conservation, sir.
Okay, so the main reason was the joggers throwing the plastic waste to the lake.
Yes, sir.
So did you stop that? Did you ban the jogging around the lake?
So it's not the joggers dropping the plastic waste. The lake is used for jogging activities. Around the shore, the people jog. There's a jogging track. But people, the tourists who come to spend some time around the lake, they usually throw up their plastic waste after when they are about to leave. So this has contaminated that place, which was causing inconvenience to the joggers in themselves, because the joggers come to the lake in order to experience that natural beauty, so they can breathe some fresh air, enjoy the scenic beauty of the area.
So how can you stop this habit of people throwing the plastic into the lake?
So we have taken certain measures. First thing, we have undertaken certain drives during the peak hours itself, so that our members of our organization used to stand at certain important points. When we see that people are dumping the plastic waste that they are carrying, we used to direct them to the nearby bins. So that has brought a certain amount of change in the people themselves. And secondly, we have installed small fences at the shore of the lake at certain points.
What is the height of the fence?
So the height of the fence is only 3 meters. So it's very close to the lake shore.
So it makes it difficult to throw the plastic over and above the fence, right?
Not particularly, sir, but usually we see the activity of just throwing, not intentionally throwing the plastic into the lake, but they just drop that waste by the shore itself. So which by the activity of wind or some other activity that gets into the body of the lake.
Good, then fencing shall help actually, right?
Yes.
Okay, so lake conservation of that lake, one is fencing. What other methods you follow for that lake conservation?
So and second thing, we have requested the administration to build an immersion tank during the last Ganesh Chaturthi festival. So they have completed that immersion tank, so that the local Ganesh idols which will be immersed after the festival will not go directly into the lake now. They will instead be submerged in the immersion tank, so that we are actually preventing the pollution of that materials getting into the lake in itself. And apart from that, sir, we are also conducting the floating wetland plants. So we are actually having a plastic platform with plants which can suck up the pollutants from the lake body. So we are installing such floating wetland treatment plants in lakes.
Have you got permission from government to do that?
Yes, sir. The Telangana Government Irrigation Department is also contacting with us for building floating wetland treatment plants for other lakes of the Hyderabad. Till recently, we have built such plants for more than 6 lakes.
Good. So water contamination has already happened to the lake. You are able to reduce the contamination.
Yes, sir.
By floating wetlands. Any other methods you follow to remove the existing contamination, existing waste from the lake?
So the other thing we do is the plogging activities, sir. So the waste which gets collected near the fence, every weekend we come and we remove that waste through the various nets.
That is from the water, from the nearby?
From the water itself. I mean at the shore of the lake.
Other than floating wetland treatment, tell me other measures of treating the contaminated water in the lake.
So we can use bioremediation methods, wherein we draw biological organisms which can reduce the organic waste in the lake in itself. Second thing, sir, having a sewage treatment plant at the inlet of the lake in itself, so that we don't directly dump the harmful sewage waste into the lake body. That can be one method, sir. And third thing, we can have limited cultivation of the water hyacinth plants. So that can also help us reduce the pollutants.
So water hyacinth plants actually remove the contamination from the lake?
Yes, sir, they take up the pollutants at a very good level. But the problem with water hyacinth is that it spreads very fast.
How do you stop it?
So we have to periodically plug the plants out, sir, so that the amount of water hyacinth in the lake it gets very restricted. So the periodic removal forms an important aspect when we use water hyacinth as a conservation measure for the lake.
Okay, so lake comes under wetland?
Yes, sir. Lake is a wetland.
Can you call lake as wetland?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so wetland conservation under Ramsar. Any sites in Hyderabad or Telangana that comes under Ramsar sites?
So there is no Ramsar site in Telangana states.
Why? What is the criteria to become a Ramsar site?
Sorry, sir, I'm unable to recall the exact criteria for designating a site as a Ramsar site.
Okay. See, you have passion for lake conservation. Now tell me internationally any highly contaminated lake that has been regenerated. Okay, there has been where contamination has been removed in the recent past by following very good methods or measures, which you think can be applied to the lake that you are conserving also.
So there's a lake in Hyderabad itself, sir, called as Neknampur Lake in the Ibrahimpatnam area, where actually the measures that we are using for conservation of the lake are inspired by that lake. So the Manjulika ma'am, who is overseeing the activities in that lake, has implemented this competition between the water hyacinth and the floating wetland treatment plants. So through those measures over time, during the period of the last 4 years, ma'am was able to get the pollution levels in the lake dropped down very drastically. 4 years before, the BOD of that lake was around 28 mg per meter cube, but at present it's only 7 mg per meter cube. So the measures that the ma'am has been implementing has been showing very effective results.
Okay. So you are doing afforestation also? Lake conservation and afforestation?
So afforestation is not a major activity, but as a sub-activity.
So which plants are you planting under the afforestation activity?
Sir, our organization has chosen 3 plants. First is fig tree, people tree, and second is Pongamia pinnata kanuga chettu that we call in our local language, and third is the neem tree, sir, as a director indica.
Out of these 3, which one do you think suits better for Hyderabad soil?
So it depends on the area that we are planting. Neem plant is much more suitable for where the soil fertility is not very high, but people tree and the Pongamia pinnata kanuga tree can very well grow in the climate of Hyderabad.
And what advantages do you get from these trees? Why you chose specifically these 3 trees? What are the advantages from them?
So the moderation of microclimate is very good with respect to these 2 trees.
Okay.
With respect to people tree and kanuga tree, they bring down the temperature very much during the summers. So the cooling effect of these 2 trees is pretty much high. So because of those reasons, we have chosen those trees.
Okay. Let a team representing India at Solar Decathlon. What is the potential of solar energy in India and how far have succeeded in reaching the potential? Solar energy potential in India.
So India, being a tropical country, has a very good potential for generating energy from the solar irradiation. I'm unable to exactly recall the figure of potential. India has been making great strides with respect to generating power from the solar energy sector. At present, we have more than 52 gigawatt of solar power installations, and we are all actually aiming at to increasing it to more than 100 gigawatt. So the government has been taking active measures with respect to promoting solar power by way of offering subsidies and also having schemes such as solar ultra mega power schemes. So we are making great strides in.
Are you collaborating with any other countries regarding solar energy in India?
Sir, with respect to the International Solar Alliance, we have formed a partnership with France in establishing that organization, and the membership of the ISA has been open to all the UN countries. So India is also working on creating a one sun, one world, one grid project. So we are trying to partner with as many countries as possible in order to make the world sustainable. Sir.
What are the advantages of one grid?
So having a single grid will help us transport power from one location to another location. For example, every location doesn't have good amount of potential to generate solar energy for itself, but certain locations have a very high potential. So if we can install a solar plant at such high potential area and having an interconnected grid will help us transfer power from that source to the deficit areas. So in that way, having a single grid can be very helpful.
There was a national level grid failure that happened some time back. Are you aware of it? Where the power is off in the entire area. Grid level, the entire grid is gone. Do you remember anything like that in India, happening in India?
Sorry sir, I am unable to recall.
Have you heard of floating solar plants?
Yes sir, I have heard about that.
Have you seen them?
Yes sir, in Banasura Sagar Dam I have seen that floating solar power plant.
So the solar plant on the land versus water, any difference in their efficiency, functioning?
Yes sir, having a floating solar power plant actually increases the efficiency. The panels that we use in producing the solar electricity performs optimally at a certain temperature. When the continuous insolation of the plants will actually reduce the efficiency of the panels in itself. So when we have a floating solar plant, the temperature of the water will have a moderating effect on the temperature of the panels. So it keeps the efficiency at an optimum level.
Are you sure about that?
Yes sir.
Oh, you work at a present thesis on lithium-ion batteries. Lithium batteries are more suitable for India or cold countries?
So it can be used anywhere, sir.
So tell me, any battery which is more suitable for cold country but not for India, any battery like that? Batteries in the cars, whatever.
Sorry sir, I'm unable to recall.
Okay, Shravan, intro is over.